I am very depressed, Jaguar fans.
Oh,
Javal,
how
how
the
are you?
tables have turned.
Oh no, Javal, how are you doing today though on this Manic
Um,
Monday? On an actual Monday, we actually did it. I can't
yeah,
believe it.
actual Monday this time. Well, the negatives is the past 2 weeks. We saw Jake Browning and Joe Flacco look like the quarterbacks. But hey, we're still leading the AFC South. We're still 8-5. So despite the fact that I think just trying to put everything in perspective, we're during the season, yeah, fans get so pissed, and you can really tell how upset people are during the three. Well, and those are really long game during the 3 to 4 hour games NFL, when they'll be going from saying that I want this person off the team. It's just so funny watching how volatile fan reactions are because when everyone's winning, the fan tweets are positive, but then whenever the Jags haven't had great, it's all the vitriol over the past years just coming out into certain moments. So I just find it pretty funny. Um, but it would have been a lot worse if the Texans and Colts both lost. If they'd won last week, then I actually would have been much more to damn. We really got to get on our Zoom. But now it's at least the New York Jets put up 30 points. I don't feel nearly as bad. I would. I don't. Letting Joe Flacco cook you up is embarrassing enough. Letting Zach Wilson cook you up in 2023, you gotta look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself what went wrong on that one. So, do I feel not great? Yes, but it could be worse
It's just
compared
the
to how Jag
fact.
seasons of the past have went.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to bring up before anything else. I think it was brought up in press conference today. Three big plays for Joe Flacco, where he was like 58% completion percentage. So we were getting there, but only three pass plays went for 120 plus yards for the three touchdowns he threw. All of them on miscommunication. I didn't see both the first two touchdowns for the Browns game because I was at work until 2 o'clock. But all I was listening to kind of the radio and they said, "Oh, they're wide open." I'm like, "What are we doing? Why is this shit still happening?" Like I said, I had no idea what it looks like. I just saw screenshots of like a tweet
I
from DJ
chose not to
Delphonic earlier.
watch, but from the clips that I saw, the first Njoku touchdown, there was literally there wasn't an defender within the next 30 yards of him. So
When will that happen for
credits to
us? That's like it never happens
I
against
never.
it. It's never against
The
this.
last time somebody was wide open, Christian Kirk got out for the year. So that's our luck. It's it's like we get somebody schemed open and they injure themselves on a 25-yard catch.
Um, and yeah, no, just the defense not showing up or just being the reason why we couldn't be within this game as much as the offense turned the ball over. Our defense also helped. So it was just, all through
It's
face,
a
the game was
and
not good. It's a team
yeah,
effort. Offense turned the ball over 4 times. I know
we're
Trevor
not
has
gonna
the
win
ankle
many
sprain, but he
games.
didn't look too out of place compared
I
to.
don't I don't think a lot of the it was just both miscommunication on offense and defense. And
Yeah.
offensively, I can understand, Trevor didn't practice with the team that much. So if he was a little bit out of sync, and the Browns do have a good secondary, so it's not like,
Not
he
like they're
wasn't
number one
trying to,
defense in the NFL or anything, but you don't
he
want to
wasn't
see your
throwing
team
versus
losing.
scrubs. Granted,
Yeah.
everything I heard saying the Browns are playing very aggressive, and there could have been a few more DPIs. That there's only the one DPI near the end of the game, but you know, depending on the circumstances, I can understand the offense looking a little bit out of sync. It's the defense where we've been singing Mike Caldwell's praises all season long, and suddenly the defense looks so out of sync. It's baffling. Part of it is you're putting new players in. I mean, Tyson being out shouldn't be that as much of a deal because they've had to play without him already. And Buster's played solid for all things considered. Not great, not
Mhm.
perfect, but for a seventh round rookie, he has some flashes. Greg Jr. though was playing for Herndon, who had a concussion, and yeah, not his best game. So I can also attribute some of that where they're kind of getting some more young guys in this game because not only was Monteric Brown opposite replacing with Tyson, but then you had Greg Jr. replacing Herndon, and then even Antonio Johnson was kind of playing some snaps. So um, they kind of got to look at some younger pieces of the secondary. So that could also be an explanation for the miscommunication on the defense because some of those guys haven't played. I haven't seen all the film to point out who was on who. I know on the fourth down touchdown to David Bell, it kind of looked like it was Darius inside, but I wasn't 100% sure. So, to me, part of it is the secondary when you're adding a couple new young guys, there is some room for miscommunication because when the Jags were playing at their best on defense, they were very well coached. But that was with the core five, and we have the five stars in secondary. We really haven't seen all those five play together in a while, so I'm not excusing the poor communication, and I it's just baffling because they were coached so well, and then a few changes, and now they have to get cohesion back together. But it Mike Caldwell proved it can be done. So it's not so much that's the disappointing thing. It's not so much we don't know the players can play better. We know the coaching staff can play better. That's the frustrating part. It's not so much you want to fire everybody because you don't believe they can get players to play well, but it's just when you know a team can do better and they're not living up to the expectations. That's the disappointing part. So there are people who are saying Mike Caldwell is trash and he's terrible after the past, basically the first most of the games he was the best coach on the team. So it went from if it's not press, it's Mike. Sometimes it's both. So that's just the Jags, man. It is what it is. Something it can never be normal. We're 8-5, and still it can never be normal. But are you surprised? I'm really not.
No, no, I'm not. I'm not broken because, like you said, everyone else in the AFC South went back down to earth, like
It would
Texans.
be
Like
hilarious. The Titans are gonna win tonight, aren't they? The Titans are gonna beat the Dolphins, and
it's
they're
in
gonna be
Miami.
the
There's
only
no
team.
way they're winning that
There should
game.
be absolutely no way. But I've seen the AFC South. They're either losing by 40 or winning by 7. Some stupid method, but that's the AFC South for you. At least we weren't the only team to lose to Jake Browning.
Yeah, I mean, Colts are like what 7 and now 4 against every other team not named the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's so stupid. It's such a stupid division. Why are we? You know what? As stupid as the AFC South is, then there's the NFC South.
Oh,
That's just an objectively horrid division.
and we have to play two of them still. Thank God, because the AFC North is making me want to consider my life choices. I legit started running again after the fucking Bengals game, and I'm going to run after this podcast today too.
Dude, it's a good thing that we didn't record after the Bengals game.
Uh
Let's just say,
oh.
I drank some at home. I had to take some anger out. So, I'm just
Uh-oh.
glad that I'm much more calm, rational after this loss. I got all that anger out. Now I'm just,
I'm not
damn.
even anger. I'm just like not. I guess frustrated is the better word. I think this whole Jaguar team is too.
They just don't play their best when people expect them to, which is the annoying part. Because
Yeah,
even the game versus Houston, probably it was at most 50-50 Jags, but a lot of people are picking Houston to win because of how Houston beat them last time. And then now versus the Bengals, people expect them to win. They lose. And the Browns, there's probably some people, but considering that it was Joe Flacco, most people favor the Jags and they didn't win. So I'm
well, Vegas
just
had the Browns as favorite, if I remember, going into
oh well, yeah,
yesterday's
Browns
game.
2 and well, okay, but it's even still, it was a very even game. It wasn't. I don't think people were saying the Jags couldn't win that game and bounce
Yeah.
back. So it's I don't know. This team never ceases to have dumb losses. But hey, even in 2017 when the defense was playing great, there were still some dumb losses. I just remember Blaine Gabbert in Arizona. That was so bad. Even looking back in hindsight, losing that much to Shanahan doesn't feel as bad considering how it's from the 49ers. Losing to Blaine Gabbert on the on the road. Eh,
That was a pretty dreadful loss too, not gonna lie. I
yeah, I
remember where I
just
was watching that too, in a random group room inside the UNF one of the dorms. I think it was the yeah, it was not the landing. What the fuck is it? Osprey Fountains. I was legit in a group room and I wanted to kill myself after that loss, losing to Blaine Gabbert. But that's a long time ago. I don't know what this loss feels like in comparison to some of the. It's not the worst Jaguar loss I've ever seen. We've seen this team
it's
get like shit faced
we yeah. I mean, at least I'm glad they're able to still compete versus a good team. It's not, the Browns aren't a terrible team. They have a good defense. It's not so much we completely lost. They put up a decent fight. It's just the fact that they kept shooting themselves in the foot still, and they just didn't really look cohesive either on offense or defense. They looked disjointed, and they just didn't really seem that greatly coached on both sides of the ball. And that's the frustrating part because it's a coaching staff who, it's been a year and a half at this point. The players know the scheme. So why is everything disjointed, especially on defense? But, like I was saying earlier, some of that could be due to some of the younger players, but it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. So
and I think the worst part about the offense right now, since we're talking so much about the defensive side of communication, we got healthy. We got depth before the trade deadline. We were down to our fourth fucking left tackle by the end of that game
how
yesterday
did how did we end up going from Cam back healthy to Blake Hands at left tackle in the
against
span of not
Miles
even three
fucking Garrett.
games? It wasn't even 3 games because yeah, Cam got hurt at the end of the Texans game, and then it
Walker
was
was back
Bengals.
there.
Yeah, Walker was
And then he gets hurt
playing,
last
and then Walker
week.
got hurt at the end of the Bengals game, and now Ezra's banged up. I mean, I saw a tweet from Shadrick saying it looks Walker will be back at left tackle. So at least if you get Walker back, that'll be very important versus the Ravens. And they also have a lot of great. Their D line is huge with talent. So shout out to Javion Clowney, who the Jags decided Chase on was better than him. So we see how that turned out.
I think there is a tweet. Was it a tweet or was it a DM in one of our group chats from John Shipley? And I want to read it out to you real quick because well, fuck it. Back to the defense. Chason, Smoot, Devon Hamilton, Blackson, Ledbetter, Gotsis combined for zero pressures and zero quarterback hits on a combined 85 pass rush snaps. Uh, what else do I gotta say? What else do I have to say right now?
Yeah, I mean, Hamilton really hasn't made an impact, and he still had the injury, so that's part of it. But they really haven't. Chason's been has done as about as well as everybody outside of the Jags expected him to play. Smoot's still coming off the injury tier, and they still refuse to give Yasir Abdullah a chance. It's just, is he that bad in practice? I really have to wonder. What are they getting? What does Chason do in practice compared to Abdullah? Where they think Chason is so much, we'll never understand the coaching staff's love for Chason, but hey,
I mean, just reading that makes me angry. And honestly, it was just like, are you like, what are we doing here? It's
it's
just crazy too.
crazy.
Like, yeah, when we win, it's like, yay, and
The
when we
roster looks
lose, it's
so
like, yeah,
good, and then the
and
roster looks so bad when you lose.
it's like, yeah, I want to kill Trembalki again and put on my fucking wig,
You want to put on the
yeah,
clown
my clown wig
mask.
again. It's just staring right at me too. It's on top of my bookshelf. I'm just like, it's like calling to me, like the Green
Mm-hmm.
Goblin in the mask. It's like that to me right now.
I mean,
I feel like William Dafoe in the flesh.
I think the crazy part is because we're facing the Ravens and everyone's going to underdog us. I feel good about next. Not amazing, but I because there's not that much to lose. Obviously, there's still a game to lose, but I don't know because we're the underdog again. You can go on with a little less expectation. So,
I that's the
well,
thing though. This team was asking for the expectation this year, and it's like we're falling on our fucking face again. So it's like,
I mean, it just depends on how quick do they manage to bounce back. Because the crazy thing is, I know when they're at their best, they can beat the Ravens, and that's the frustrating part. So if they end up winning the next 4 games, all will be forgiven. Nobody will care too much about this stretch, but we just have to see. We'll see if one of the players get healthy because on top of not only are they not playing great, but the Jags I feel have been obviously every team's gonna have the injury bug, but this is one that's probably hit them the hardest during the stretch of the year in terms of Tyson, who's been in and out the lineup, Cisco is banged up, Herndon's banged up. So, we're really relying a lot more on our depth players, especially in the secondary. And you can see that translate on the field. So hopefully the young guys start to really improve because, you need to have good depth. And I think for the most part they flash, but it's getting consistent NFL reps, enough of those reps to where you know how to play in and play out, make an impact. So hopefully the Jags can start to get healthy enough. I know Cam could come back before the playoffs, if not right before the playoffs. Walker will be back. So Ezra's banged up, but we'll see. Um, so it's just a matter of how do they overcome the injuries, especially due to Trevor. What does the coaching staff did prepare, especially Caldwell, because 2 weeks in a row you allowed 30 points. You gotta look yourself in the mirror and ask, hey, am I relying on these? Am I putting these young guys in not a good situation to succeed? Is it coaches are figuring out where to attack and he has to change it? I just wonder as a coaching staff, what do they see and where do they try to adjust on defense? Because I can tell Caldwell, he seems very passionate. He's just some type of coach who would let their coach score 30 and not care. He genuinely seems like he has a connection with the guys. So not only does he think he let the players down, but he let the team down. So I think as the defensive staff as a whole will just have to try to regroup as much. I mean, they played Lamar last year and it worked enough to win the game, but at the same time the Ravens still scored 27 points. So and that was before they got better on offense. So it's it would be great for this week to be the week that the defense plays a lot better, but they're also playing Lamar Jackson. So that's the thing, though. It would be incredibly Jags for them to just have the random turnovers again, just like 4 turnovers out of nowhere. That's the problem with this team is because I've seen them play on and off. I know that in any moment they can do something stupid, and either a stupid like you don't expect it, and they make a good play out of nowhere, or they just make a dumb play out of nowhere. Ah, this team is so frustrating. But hey, we're 8-5, so
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like we're 8-5, but I feel like we're talking about like this team is fucking 5-8 sometimes whenever we lose a game the way
that's
we
how the
did.
fans are
Yeah.
though. When you're so negative for so long, the slightest time that pessimism comes back, you know, I mean, I think even every fan base, the ones that win, they get extremely negative.
Hmm.
Hell, I mean, I just see Eagles Twitter, Chiefs Twitter. They're both, Chiefs Twitter more for a funny reason. Kadarius Toney is a hilarious NFL player. Um, just seeing how when teams are good and after 1 or 2 losses, everything starts to become negative. That's just the NFL. And when the Jags have been negative for so long, it's very easy to go back to that negativity. So,
Yeah, but like you said earlier, everyone else in the AFC South lost. I'm expecting for every team to lose this week. This week might as well just be a wash.
yeah. So, not even just close losses. It was stupid, bro. I'm sorry. I still can't get over. It was a tie. It was a 0-0 game at halftime. And then the Jets scored 30 and a half. I
It's
know that
time to talk about CJ Stroud being a tank Dell merchant.
I was gonna say, I know Nico Collins got hurt on the first drive because MetLife Field is cursed. Abolish that field, please, NFL. But you let the Jets offense. It's not even so much the Texans didn't put up points because I understand Jets defense is really good on the road, bad conditions. You lost Nico Collins. Okay. If it would have been an ugly defensive game, that's fine. You let the New York Jets put up 30 points? You let Zach Wilson put up 30 points? I'm sorry. That NFL is so stupid. Not even just this division, but this week's as a whole, I think just had a lot of stupid losses. So it's I always try to put things into perspective, and I don't want to rely on other teams to make ourselves feel better because we have our own expectations, obviously.
Hmm.
But just seeing other teams, because even Houston, I don't think they expect their defense to let Zach Wilson carve them up. I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing at that. That is just hilarious.
Yeah. And then, I'm not saying that Texans fans, were celebrating because I didn't see any Texans fans celebrating. There's just quarterback injuries this year too are awful. Trevor High
Quarterback.
sprain, CJ Stroud concussion, Justin Herbert fractured finger, might be out for the season. Like what is going on this year at the quarterback injuries? And of course, the one quarterback to survive a goddamn ACL is Aaron Rodgers with whatever the heck he's doing.
I'm just
I
glad that we got the injury to the dirty horny sex man.
uh,
If he went unscathed, I think I would have personally been irate. He should have had gotten to play at all though. Just first snap. He should have got the Aaron Rodgers treatment. First snap, torn Achilles. But that's a rant for another day, NFL.
I mean, they still cooked us though at the end of the day, unfortunately.
Oh,
We
you
made fun of
lost
Dirty
to
Horny
Joseph
Sexy Man
Flacco.
and Dirty Horny Sex Man
Just to lose to
team still
Joseph
won.
Flacco.
Yeah. 2 years off the couch.
Oh my
Two years
heavens.
off the couch, and he cooked us for 300 plus passing yards.
At least he didn't lose to Zach Wilson.
No, I hate it here. I really do hate it here right now. But guess what? We have our first primetime game since the Bush administration coming up on Sunday. It's
Oh
so
man.
fucking stupid.
Oh,
Since the Bush administration, not even Obama. We're going back to George W. Baby. First Sunday Night Football since George W. Bush was the goddamn president of the United States. I
guys.
was 10 the last time the Jacksonville Jaguars had
Was
a
that
Sunday
oh
night game.
07?
Oh wait, 2008.
Oh 08? Oh man.
No, so I was 11.
Hopefully it goes
Yeah.
better than the Monday night game. That's all I can say.
Will you be there? Oh yeah, you'll be there. You said you'd be
Yeah, I
there.
got the hotel rented already, so it's gonna be a household divided, a relationship divided, I should say. But
Uh-oh.
I
Oh,
think I
is she
think
a
I'll wear
Baltimore
my
Ravens fan?
I think yeah, Bree's gonna wear her Lamar jersey. I think I'll wear my Trevor
Ah.
jersey.
Ah. Hey man, 16 is greater than 8. I'm just using math right now. Two times better, but I don't know.
Hopefully it's at least that game. If the defense looks bad, I don't feel as bad. The defense looking bad to Lamar. That's
They're
the
gonna
thing
they're
is
gonna fix a defense for some whatever reason against the fucking Ravens because this is how this team works. That's all I'm gonna say right now. That's why we're winning on
it's
Sunday.
either we're forcing 4 turnovers or the Ravens are dropping 45 on us. There is no in between.
Oh, nope.
And even if we get the turnovers, it would still be a 27 or something. Like we wouldn't stop them every single drive or shut them down. Lamar is just too good to shut down, and they have real receiving weapons this year. So I don't know, man. It's
No Kyle Hamilton though I saw, so that's another question mark. But they'll
maybe. Yeah,
probably
we'll
find
see
someone to
if
intercept us for
we'll
some
see if
god awful
Hamilton
reason.
plays. So it'll be Geno Stone because he already has all the interceptions this year.
Hmm.
So it's just now that it's life without Kirk, how much more do they manage? We're kind of starting to see Parker gonna go through some rookie struggles, but he can still make some plays. So hopefully
Two
they're able
touchdowns 2 weeks in a row. I'm just saying
to.
he kind of cooked again with his touchdown 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I mean, he still has a lot to go as both a return man and a receiver, but I think his pre-draft, his best strength was his hands, his contested catch ability, and we've seen that both in those two touchdowns, especially that second touchdown he had. Great at the catch point. That was stopped by Trevor. So, I definitely think they have something there with Parker. It's just a matter of how quickly can he get better because, you know, we've seen the missing, Trevor trusts Kirk over the fourth and six, fourth and eight over the middle so much. And I think Parker can be some type of player, especially with the hands. It's just a matter of the chemistry and the connection between them, especially when, Trevor hasn't practiced with him that much and is going to be banged up. So, um, we'll see how that goes. Hopefully Ridley have to play a better game. So it's a game I'm definitely looking forward to, but at the same time, I know this is going to define the season. So
This is definitely, I mean, on paper, the hardest game for the entire season for the rest of the way. It's legit 4 weeks left, which is fucking crazy to think about. Four more for the rest of the
yeah, I mean
season.
after this,
Down
you
to the wire.
face after
Tampa.
this, Tampa, who's nothing to be underestimated, definitely could be an annoying game, and then Panthers and Titans. So it's the schedule definitely. Worst case scenario, they should get to 10 wins just by strength of facing Panthers and a Titans team that has not looked very good. We'll see what happens. They could still get to 12 wins. So, but
If there's any time to fix the defense, this is the week where you get it done. No Mark Andrews, maybe no Kyle Hamilton on the other side. I'm not saying that's their best player. They still got such a talented freaking defense. They're one of the best in the league. It's just 2 weeks in a row where you face elite defenses. That's just the fate. If you want to win Super Bowls, these is the teams that you're gonna have to play and win against
and
when the
I,
time
I still
comes.
think if Trevor just, I know he had the interceptions, but I don't think he made a ton of bad decisions
No,
outside. I mean, with
of that,
miscommunication,
yeah,
it's really hard to tell exactly was it, receiver's fault, the quarterback's fault. But outside of that, I didn't see too much, but it wasn't, he kind of had some arm punts, but it could have been worse. So I still have confidence that he'll play well. Um, that's really just a matter of obviously the O line. How well can they get everything going? The running game at this point, we might have to say rest in peace to it because it hasn't been working at all. And I think that's really the part that's held the offense back the most is they just don't have any running game at all to lean on behind. And they can throw the ball well. That's the annoying part. It's not so much they just can't run the ball well because teams are always stacking the box on them. No, they just can't get off block.
yeah,
So you can play a light box versus Jacksonville, and you still don't really have to worry about the run too much because as
no
talented as
push
ETN
whatsoever.
is,
Yeah, he's not Mr. Incredible and can just break out of everything.
yeah, dude, would he have under what 3 yards per carry?
It's been awful, man.
That's really the one thing where I think if the offense is gonna ever hum at its peak, they just need to get a semi decent running game, but it's just been so porous recently. If they could even get to the 20th or 18th best running game, I think that would just help the offense convert so much easier. But on top of miscommunication, there's just the running game still hasn't taken off. So that's another big part of it. Hopefully, we're able to see a little bit more of the running game, but at this rate, I'm not holding my breath.
Oh well, I don't know. Like the final thoughts. Well, losing's frustrating at the end of the day. I get it. I'm gonna try to get over it. But like I said, we have our first Sunday night football game in 15 years coming up on Sunday. So we'll see you there. We'll talk about it again as we see the injury reports come in because that's the most important, the most intriguing part now, like you were talking about, how so many young players are stepping in and seeing when these guys will be coming back. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Oh, I just before I go, just wanted to shout out. I've talked about Parker, but Antonio Johnson had himself a little game. Allowed zero catches on 3 targets and had the strip sack fumble. Had a third down pass breakup. So, I definitely think Rayshawn has had some moments this year. He hasn't looked that bad. So we're starting to see a little more of the draft class trickling and making a bit of an effect. Not even just this year's, but last year's, both with Buster and Monteric. Well, not sorry, yeah, Monteric and Greg.
Buster and Monteric. They're just two personalities like Zay Jones. Just kidding.
But yeah, like I was just saying how we were trying to see more of the draft class peak taking shape. So Antonio Johnson maybe could be that Freyshawn replacement if he gets cut next year. We see him make some plays. Already had the Hail Mary interception on the Steelers, just a stat pad. So he has a sack, a pick, and a couple pass breakup so far. Not a bad start. So we'll see if he ends up starting if Hernan comes back. But hopefully just more young guys can take that next step because as that Trevor contract kicks in eventually, we're gonna need those guys to really round into shape. So, despite the loss, at least we're able to see some flashes, some glimpses. So, seeing some players who haven't made a lot of plays prior really start to show out. It is, at least there's still somewhat of a blessing. I'm leaving here with something,
Yeah,
win
of
or lose.
course.
I'm leaving with something.
Always got to leave us something. Antonio Johnson, shout out. Like I said, that strip sack was nice. It really was. Very good positive. And like I
So
said, Parker Washington, let's shout him out too. Like I said, two touchdowns 2 weeks in a row. Keep it up. Evan Ingram as well. Thank God are getting
Didn't
him
he
involved
didn't
too.
he break his own record?
Yeah, he broke his own record yesterday. And there's still 4 weeks for him to do it more since as Christian Kirk's out. He might get 100 catches before the end of the season
Yeah,
at
what
this
is
rate.
his I haven't even saw his full this stat line yet. I just realized.
I played him in fantasy in the Dunn and Drew League where I should have if I would have won, I would have yeah, that's not happening. Green Bay is not outscoring Tua Tagovailoa. He had 32 fantasy points yesterday. If you're
I saw, yeah.
yeah, 11 catches for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was 11 of 12 from receptions and targets. He caught everything in his way yesterday.
He's slowly turning into our version of Kimura. Just check down King.
Hey man, it worked. It's all that matters. Let me
Get
see what
those
his season
catches. Get
stats
that
are.
contract.
He already did get his contract though. He got his contract getting paid and he's still balling out.
Oh
So
yeah,
shout out to
well,
Evan Ingram.
shout out to Ingram, I guess. So, there's still some positives to watch for, but hopefully more of the young guys can take that next step, play even better, and we'll see how everything goes. But
Yeah.
John, how else are you feeling for Sunday? I know it's still kind of early. We'll see how everyone's feeling, but just as of now, just how are you feeling about this team? Just whelmed?
Uh yeah, not really overwhelmed or whelmed. It's just we know what we can be, but we're not that team right now. That's the thing that we see this team can be I'm not gonna say elite, but one of the best teams in the NFL. That is basically elite. What the fuck am I contradicting myself for? You
I
know, but
mean,
this team could be so much better, but they're not, and that's just the reality of the situation. Offensive line, suspect can't get any push on the run. Defense, they are susceptible to allowing the big play recently after not doing so first half of the season. And even when they got the turnovers like they did yesterday, they still let up some of the big plays. Not complimentary football. 4 turnovers, 3 big plays allowed for 3 touchdowns for Joe Flacco. Special teams, you know,
Bill says that.
this even outplayed them too because they had a punter that could apparently kick the ball 75 yards up in the air in their own territory. Like what can you do at that point? What can you do?
And Parker is terrified to return the ball
Yeah, I mean he got like a 20-yard return one time, didn't he? But other than that,
versus Bengals, but I feel most times he's been returning. The goal has just been don't fumble, which he still ended up fumbling. So
all right.
it is what it is.
Yeah. I guess we'll just leave it at that. We got a few days to kind of wind down and like I said, look at the injury report, pray to God that people get healthier, and pretty much it.
Just injury, God bless us.
Now we're having an injury prayer.
Healthy hamstrings to all.
Yeah, save the knees, save the hamstrings. No stupid bullshit at practice. I just realized we're 0-2 since Brenton Strange went down. So
We're
is he the
0-2
glue?
with Josh Peterson on the roster. This is his fault.
Is it you're blaming the coach's son? We're
I'm
blaming
blaming the Nepo
nepotism.
baby.
Yeah,
Nothing has went
nepotism.
well since the Nepo Bowl.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
That's right.
Nothing has
Yeah.
gone well. So we have to get him off the roster. And well, they said Strange could also be back this week. So
Stranger Herndon, like I don't
will
know
the
how the
Ravens
defense fell apart.
be on stranger danger?
And Trey Herndon too. What like why is Trey Herndon the glue after we questioned him
Not what we
all
expected.
preseason? And then oh wait,
We
he's
were
legit.
we
Yeah.
were I was trying to get rid of him so much. Like, yeah, I can't wait to see Greg Toon start over Trey Herndon. And
And you're
now
like,
just
no, no.
I mean, to be fair, he is still a very young player. So
Yeah.
I've obviously I think the player who's been in the NFL and started dozens of games at this point is going to be a better player than the rookie. So hopefully, just with time and grace, he starts to play better. So I still have faith. There's still time
Hilarious.
for a
Yeah.
bulky masterclass.
Hilarious football team at the end of the day. But we're 8 and
Oh,
5.
absolutely hilarious team. They don't make a lick of sense.
Yeah. But we'll try to make sense of it before Sunday once again. And hopefully we'll find out whenever they start opening up the lots again. We'll just have a party no matter what. We'll win the tailgate again this Sunday. Other than that, we don't know what's gonna happen.
I
All
just
right.
know that there's going to be a lot of Casamigos at the tailgate.
Definitely was. So you gotta get one of those hats yourself, man. That's all I'm gonna that's my expectation of you going into Sunday. If they have the hats, they're gonna have you win one.
I'll see.
All right,
I'll see.
Javal. And I think it's a successful Manic Monday. I'm gonna go
Not
on
I'm
my
not too manic, hopefully
yeah.
we're
We're
chilling now.
not we're not like down like I was down bad, but like I said, imagine if like you said, imagine if the Texans won or the Colts won or both of them won yesterday too.
Then
All of us
yeah,
were ass. We were just
all
straight
of the whole
booty
AFC
juice.
South just decided to stink collectively as a whole. So at least I can take some solace in knowing that we're still leading a hilarious, not hilariously bad because then there's the NFC South.
Yeah.
That's some smelling.
And we
It's
got the
just
fucking two. It's like after the Gauntlet of Doom with the AFC North, we have the fucking blanket rescue my season gauntlet with the fucking
I mean, yeah, the
with
Bucks
the
I
fuck
think can
yeah
be annoying, but I think
because they have
I
talent.
the problem
But
with the Buck I think I don't want to look too far ahead. The
yeah,
Bucks really remind me so much of basically like the Jags are the worst quarterback, considering that the coach like Caldwell came from Tampa, and the Bucks this year have also allowed a lot of big plays in the passing game. They just it's very funny that we're gonna face Tampa, and obviously it's a 2 hour
game's ending 38-35. I don't know who the fuck wins. You already know it's gonna be like that Texans game too against them, like
it could
almost a month
be.
ago.
It very well could
I
be.
was
But then
supposed to go to Tampa too for that game, but my work schedule isn't going to work out for that, unfortunately. As much as I want to go to Tampa
and
to
then
watch that game.
no matter what, it's there's the I don't still don't see the Jags offense. I mean the Jags defense versus the Panthers offense. And if you allow big plays to Laviska Shaw and DJ Chark, then we'll have a serious talking point.
Yeah, and then the tie-ins, like I said, we just got to see what the AFC South looks like last week into the season because we legit have no clue now. But like I said, 4 weeks. If you beat Baltimore, it's gonna be a
Everything
big sigh
everything
of
is
relief.
forgiven.
And yeah,
Everything is forgiven.
I gotta ask. We gotta bring in the big guns. I feel like I think a guest. It should be a guest week, right? It
If we
has to be a
can.
guest week.
We've lost, so yeah, we can use
We could
that
use some extra
excuse.
help this week. I'm gonna ask around starting when before my run, honestly, today. But I should stop withholding my run any longer. Javal, I said, y'all gym yet? Did you gym yet?
Not yet. I still have to. I'll maybe hit a cardio later. I'm having moving soon, so that's gonna be a lot
Ah,
of lifting
damn.
and grunting. It's just
Yeah,
straight
I
off.
at Wawa I did 12,000 steps today already just for being at the OWS, which is basically our Sizzly station. So I was running out breakfast sandwiches like they were crack cocaine in the 80s. So yeah, that was my day though. And I'm gonna continue to run even some more because I like the pain right now. And the
Could be
Jaguars are
worse.
helping out too. I'm just kidding.
So much pain.
All right. Javal, you have a good rest of your Monday. It'll be a good week. Hopefully, Jaguars get healthy. We find a way to get over yesterday, and we hopefully head toward a win on Sunday. You got any final thoughts for real this time?
I think we'll save the final thoughts for once
Uh,
the hopefully closer to the week. But see you Sunday night.
See you
Well,
Sunday.
more like Sunday afternoon, tailgate reasons. But
Yep. And then see you later on this week for a guest, hopefully. I'll look
hopefully.
around. We gotta look for one. All right.